Coming up on Cardinals Insider, Lars Nootbaar remains a household name in Japan.
Nice.
Plus, St. Louis is a natural fit for Kyle Gibson.
Being a Cardinal just was something probably for the last 5 or 6 years that I would kind of hope that was going to work out, and it hadn't in the last 5 or 6 years, and the fact that it did this time around is pretty cool.
And later, a part of St. Louis baseball history you may not be familiar with.
St. Louis has tremendous black baseball history, first and foremost.
Those stories and more coming up on Cardinals Insider. Welcome, I'm Ozzie Smith. Lars Nootbaar stepped onto the international stage at the 2023 WBC, and he's been famous in Japan ever since. This past winter, he went back to the land of the rising sun. Here's what he was up to.
So you went to Japan again, kind of things that you do when you're there?
We did a lot of, interviewing, going around doing media, shot a commercial or two, and then did some touristy stuff. Got to go to Kyoto and see the temples and dress up and do that whole thing. And I also got to see my family, which was pretty cool. Got to eat dinner with them, and we ate a lot of food. I think kind of just experiencing the whole thing, really, diving into the culture, seeing it firsthand, living it for a couple weeks, hanging out with the people that I was there with. The whole experience was really like a high.
Nervous, man, nervous. Pre-game jitters. We got 4 to 6-year-olds entertained. I don't know how it's gonna go.
That part of it is a little bit different. Like going to Japan, I never thought that I would be stopped and being recognized in Japan. So that part of it is different for sure. The guys in the clubhouse have a lot more ammo to kind of rip on me and for doing certain things now. A lot of good, but then, there's always a little bit of negative and them being able to rip on me a little bit is probably a good thing too. No, we just went inside the ropes and got to do a full access thing, but we weren't able to play. We might this year. We're hoping this year that we can go out and play in like a pro-am or something like that.
Nice.
Kyle Gibson joined the Cardinals this past winter. His wife is from the area, so he's lived here for years. So it's sort of been a homecoming for the University of Missouri alum.
Swing and a miss. Gibson, magnificent through 6 innings, 6 strikeouts.
Being a Cardinal just was something probably for the last 5 or 6 years that I would kind of hope that was going to work out, and it hadn't in the last 5 or 6 years, and the fact that it did this time around is pretty cool. Every day it's going to look different, right? I really believe that for me, when I take the mound, my job is to get as deep into the game, and when I leave the mound, the team has a chance to win the game. My goal for 32 times is to do that. Be out there, rain or shine, feel good, not feel good, and give the team a chance to win.
Uses all fields. The 1-2 pitch coming up to him is swung on and missed. He struck him out with his sweeper.
But for me, with the 6 pitches that I have and just the little different variations of the fastball and having both breaking balls and throwing a changeup quite a bit, it's going to be a kitchen sink approach most days. That's how I do it. I look a lot at scouting reports and the research that I do. So some pitches may not make sense every now and then, and some pitches do. And the last few years, I've really tried to focus on limiting walks. Really try to focus on controlling the count and getting ahead and forcing action in counts that I want to be in. And it's helped me limit those walks. It's helped me, stay in the double play situations and utilize that. But we got a good defense on this team, and a couple good guys that are on that left side of the infield, especially. So hopefully they see a lot of ground balls to those guys and a lot of 5-3s and 6-3s.
Strike 3 at the letters, top of the zone, perfect pitch.
Every community we've been in, we try to get involved in it. We've been involved in the St. Louis community somehow for a while now. It's definitely been something that's important to us in St. Louis and every city we're in. We have this platform to where, whether it's, meeting somebody at the field or doing some type of charity event and signing an item, we might not have that same influence for very long. I'm going to be a non-baseball player a lot longer than I'm a baseball player. So trying to use that for good as much as we can is really important to us.
Straight ahead, learn more about the storied history of the Negro Leagues in St. Louis.
They would bunt that ball. They would get on first any way they could. They were going to steal second. They'd steal third. And man, if you weren't too smart, they were stealing home.
You know the Cardinals and might know something about the old American League Browns. But pro baseball's history in St. Louis goes beyond those two teams. Here's our Brett McMillan with more.
When you think old-time baseball in St. Louis, you might think Sportsman's Park at the corner of Grand and Dodier. But there was an equally exciting brand of baseball being played in a neighborhood called Mill Creek Valley, which sits on the campus of what we now know as Harris-Stowe State University. It was Stars Park, home to the Negro Leagues St. Louis Stars, one of the most legendary franchises in Negro League history.
St. Louis has tremendous black baseball history, first and foremost. They had one of the original 8 Negro League franchises when Rube Foster established the Negro National League. Well, the St. Louis Giants were one of those original 8 franchises that made up the inaugural Negro National League. The Giants would then morph into the better known St. Louis Stars. And the St. Louis Stars, well, as the name would imply, had a lot of star power. They had some of the biggest stars to ever play in the Negro Leagues.
How was what fans in St. Louis would have seen in Midtown and Mill Creek Valley at Stars Park different than what they would have seen in North City at Sportsman's Park at a Major League game?
And nothing against the way the Major Leagues played, but essentially Major League Baseball played a base-to-base kind of game. So a guy got on base, you moved him over to second, and the big hitters came in and drove him in. Nothing wrong with that. But the Negro Leagues, they would bunt that ball. They would get on first any way they could. They were going to steal second, they'd steal third, and man, if you weren't too smart, they were stealing home. So the pace of the game, it was far faster. It was daring, it was aggressive. It had you sitting on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what was going to happen. Or as my friend, the late great Buck O'Neill would say, you couldn't go to the concession stand because you might miss something that you've never seen before. They just played the game differently. No, they had their own style of play, and it drew both black and white fans who came to see that style of play.
Coming up, we head to the farm to check in on Thomas Ajaysi.
It's a pretty cool thing that a team wants me that much to give up some big leaguers for me. Pretty cool thing.
Stay with us. Infielder Thomas Ajaysi came over in the Jordan Montgomery trade last July. Let's learn more about the former Rangers farmhand turned Memphis Redbird.
I'm Thomas Ajaysi. I'm a second baseman. I was traded to St. Louis last summer, and this is my first full year with the Cardinals.
Ajaysi rockets this to deep center field. Tolbert back, it's at the wall, and it's gone! A solo home run for the new guy.
It was a big compliment. It was really cool, and it's always fun to be wanted, and it's a pretty cool thing that a team wants me that much to give up some big leaguers for me. Pretty cool thing.
That one bolted out toward left, and that baby's gone.
I hit a pretty good stride right before I came here, and just kind of kept rolling with that. Just felt pretty at home right away too, with just the players and the staff and everybody, so kind of never broke stride, and I was fortunate.
And he clobbers this to left field, a towering fly ball. Cummings is back at the wall, he looks up and it's gone! A solo home run for Thomas Ajaysi. Driving
in a big run, or making a big play with runners in scoring position, I look at it as something that I help the team win.
He hammers this to deep left field, sailing through the night towards the berm, and it's gone! A solo home run for Thomas Ajaysi.
It's a long season and a lot can change. I think last year I didn't hit a home run until May 10th. And throughout that whole time I was like, wow, I'm just not gonna hit any homers this year. And then I ended with the most homers I'd ever hit in a season by a lot. So it's a long season and things change fast.
3 years ago, Chris Roycroft was playing independent league baseball for the Joliet Slammers. He worked his way back to affiliated ball, and earlier this month, he made his major league debut. The Illinois native had lots of family and friends in the seats to witness the next chapter in his improbable journey.
Well, the pride of Villa Park, Illinois, has mom and dad and the whole family here as Chris Roycroft is going to make his major league debut tonight. And he's got his first big league strikeout. How about the reaction, too? Oh, you think about all the journeys Roycroft has made. In the frontier leagues to the major leagues, he punches out Francisco Lindor.
And we're in the ninth inning, the pitch. Bader swings and strikes out. And Bader took the bait there, the second strikeout in the inning for Roycroft.
So welcome to the show indeed. On the ground, and that is going to be a terrific debut for Mr. Roycroft. 2 strikeouts in his first big league inning.
Still to come, if you like Italian food, St. Louis is your kind of town. When we come back, see who's cooking up these eats across from Busch Stadium.
And then we're right across from the stadium, so all of that energy is just like, you can feel it when you walk down the stairs.
We're celebrating a decade of Cardinals Hall of Fame speeches. And today, let's look back at when 1971 MVP Joe Torre got his red jacket.
I was with the the Atlanta Braves in '69. And I wasn't signing a contract, and I was sitting home during spring training, and all of a sudden I get a phone call, and I was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals on St. Patrick's Day. They did whatever they could to make me feel welcome, and that's what this team is all about, and that's what this team was all about when I played with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a special place. It's a special place, and then you got a taste of the fans. You did from the opposition side, and it was always pretty cool. This is probably the only city in major leagues that opposing players look forward to coming to. I can't tell you how honored I am for being inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame. It's just a special gathering. You know, folks, they're winners. As I say, when I came over, and there was Gibson and Brock and Shannon and McCarver and Kurt Flood, and it was just a special group. Everybody in their own way said welcome aboard and would just make you feel as comfortable as possible. It's a special organization. It's a special city. I said once, and I keep repeating it because I can't think of any other way to explain it, but once you've worn a Cardinal uniform, thanks to you, you feel like royalty, because that's the way you treat us when we come back. I want to thank you again. Thanks, Bill DeWitt. Thanks for that phone call. I'm telling you, I'm glad I answered that sucker. Thanks for all you Hall of Famers being here. Thank you for the privilege of being up here. I love you, and it's nice being home.
Katie's Pizza and Pasta is quickly becoming a staple on the St. Louis culinary scene. Their downtown St. Louis location sits in Ballpark Village. and it's a crowd pleaser for locals and visitors alike.
15 years ago, I opened up the first little pizzeria near Forest Park over on Clayton Road. And then that has evolved into what is now Katie's Pizza and Pasta. I've got, this is our third location. Our first one is in Rock Hill. We have one in Town and Country. And then now our big flagship at Ballpark Village. Gosh, well, first of all, you'll see that it's so big and beautiful, and we have a huge bar because we know people are celebrating and they're coming to all of the games downtown. So we wanted the bar to be special. And then our menu is very special. We have charcoal grills, we have oysters, we have steaks, we have seafood, and then we're right across from the stadium. So all of that energy is just like, you can feel it when you walk down the stairs into Ballpark Village, and you carry that into the restaurant. So it's just incredible energy. We have a pasta room here so you can watch them hand make all of the noodles. It's like it's just a fun experience with lots to see and do. My favorite of all time in the history of Katie's is the chicken parm. And it is 2 chicken breasts pounded down. It's filled with fontina, prosciutto, and then this beautiful chili paste from Italy. It's topped with a hot honey and then a little arugula and tomato. It is just like sweet, salty, perfect. And then breaded with Parmesan. Lots of really good Parmesan Reggiano. I wanted to show you guys some of the noodles we make. So this is a handmade Cappelletti noodle. It means little hat. So they look like little hats. And this is filled with pumpkin. It's got pepitas, brown butter sage. So good. Great energy. So come for brunch, come to our to-go window, pick up a cocktail, pick up a pizza, or come in and sit at this big, beautiful bar. It's huge. It seats like 50 people. And you can be as basic as just get a meatball pizza, or you can get lobster and oysters. We have everything for everybody.
When we return, I'm answering one of your questions. It's Ask Ozzy, and it's up next. It's time for this week's Ask Ozzy. Colton in Waterloo, Illinois asks, who inspired you to play baseball? Well, I don't think that I've ever had anybody inspire me to play it. When I was a young kid, I had a peaked roof. I thought I was fast enough, throw it up on one side and run around to the other side and catch it before it hit the ground. It was doing things like that as a kid that really made me fall in love with the game. I used to throw the ball against the wall all the time. And I had a chance to spend a lot of time working on the little things like my forehand, my backhand, and it's a game that I've always loved. Shortstop has always been the one position that I've always gone to. I think that as a kid, we get to pitch a little bit and play a little center field and stuff, but for the most part, shortstop was always there. I don't know why I fell in love with the position. I guess it was probably because there was always so much action up the middle. So shortstop has always been there for me. If you find that thing that you're passionate about when you're young, you never work a day in your life. So I never worked a day in my life because it was always a place that I could go. You know, I was taking ground balls. I was always in my own world. I always had freedom. I didn't have to worry about anything, and that was my getaway. My getaway and relaxation was being able to take ground balls every day, which I did, and it became a part of my being. Thanks for the question, Colton. If you want to submit a question, head on over to cardinals.com/insider and click the Ask Ozzy tab. But for now, don't go anywhere. There's more Cardinal Insider after the break. We close today with Ask a Cardinal. We asked the players what game show they could win.
What game show could I win?
Probably not too many. I'm not too sharp with a lot of things, so if there was something with throwing and I had to hit a target, I don't know which game show that is, but maybe that.
I think I have a chance on Family Feud. Watch that a lot.
I feel like I could be pretty good at Wheel of Fortune.
I mean, I'd say Jeopardy, but like they'd have to be categories friendly to me. I have a good bit of trivial knowledge. Wheel of Fortune, it's not like rocket science. I do a lot of crossword puzzles.
Survivor. I think I grew up by a beach, so I kind of know the beach a little bit. Play in the minor leagues, so you got to kind of find your way, you know, survival mode in that aspect.
Man, I watched a lot of Jeopardy, but I don't think I could win that. Probably something that's all luck. I don't know. Deal or no deal?
Deal or no deal?
You a risk taker?
Nah, I mean, it's hard. They always offer about 45% of what you want to do. So I think if the amount gets there, you might want to hedge your bets.
Family Feud, I think.
I don't know. I'd probably be more of like a Family Feud type person. Give me a group of people and let's work together, and then I'll try the fast money at the end.
I feel like I would be nice at Family Feud. I've watched that so much in my lifetime. I think I know all the answers every time.
I don't know if this is considered a game show or if I would even win, but my wife and I like to think that we would be good on Amazing Race. And I think it would just be fun to do too. In theory, I think it would be fun, but once you're actually in it, it would be extremely stressful, I think.
Deal or no deal?
You push the banker on it? No, I take my money and leave.
That's it for this episode. You can always catch us online at cardinals.com/insider or watch full episodes on YouTube. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you right back here next week.